Beginning with this flood situation, it's a once-in-a-century emergency unfolding on Australia's east coast. Thousands of residents have been forced to flee their homes. Others have had their properties already go under. Two powerful weather systems are pummelling the New South Wales mid-north coast and Western Sydney, where entire suburbs have been inundated. Pictures of devastation have already emerged. Homes floating down rivers, as you saw there. Even police cars have been caught out. We've got the Premier speaking to the media in about 10 minutes' time. We'll take you there for the latest. Let's go live to our reporters, first of all, in the worst affected areas of the state. First to Gabriella Power, who's in Balladella in the mid-north coast. Gabriella, what's it like on the ground where you are?
Tom, still wild weather here in Bulahdelah. Just take a look behind me. This creek is overflowing. This is sending water to flood into homes and properties nearby. You can just see the water there. It's just been hitting the ground level of this property behind me. Residents here, I've been speaking to them. They say it's been a long night. They've been doing what they can to keep their belongings safe. But this is just one of 7,000 properties on the New South Wales mid-north coast that has been impacted by this wild weather. More than 15,000 people have been forced to evacuate. And here in Bulahdelah, this hasn't even been the hardest hit. Up near Port Macquarie, they've received almost a metre's worth of rain since this historic rain event began on Friday. And since then, there's been more than 800 flood rescues, more than 10,000 calls for help. And overnight, residents in Kempsey had to be evacuated. The Macleay River near there is at 6.1 metres. It is expected to overflow today, and that CBD could go underwater in just a matter of hours. But Tom, earlier I spoke with Luke Vella. He's a chicken farmer and his property has been impacted by these floods.
Oh, well, the water's come right up here. To see here, this front yard here, this fence was underwater, and this whole dam, the flood waters was running around and coming down off the road there. And there's an island over there, as you can see, just into the paddock there. That was underwater on Saturday morning, so it's come right up, and we've had to get cattle off the flats there onto the higher ground, because if they were left down there, they'd be flooded down the water.
So you haven't lost any cattle?
No, not at all. They're all safe, but there's been times before where we nearly have, and they've sought refuge on that island there, and they've actually come up when the water's raised down.
So what was going through your mind as the water was rising?
Oh, well, I was worried that our fences are gone, and then that Fry's Creek was coming up, so we were worried about getting supplies in for the chicken sheds and all the, we have gas and feed, and there's other farms down the road that have no feed or anything.
So have you ever seen anything like this before?
Well, not in my time. I've been here for 15 years, and when I was young, I've come up here. There was probably back in 07, but this is way worse.
Yeah, right. And what are people in the community saying? Are they saying the same thing?
Yeah, they are. They're saying they haven't seen a flood this bad since the 70s.
So are you worried about the cleanup and how much this is all going to cost?
Oh yeah, there is aiding people like charities like Blaze Aid and that who are willing to help, but it is going to be quite a clean-up.
Tom, that was just one of 7,000 people that are struggling through or have been impacted by this flood. Their homes, rather, have been impacted by this flood, this historic rain event. There are right now 1,500 volunteers on the ground helping out where they can, and that help will certainly be needed as this wet weather isn't set to ease until at least Wednesday.